What's up YouTube, and welcome to another computing related video. My name's Liam and welcome to LBX Computer Services. Today's video is about this Acer TravelMate laptop. It was given to me by a work colleague who was, for want of a better word, throwing it out. They had gone through the trouble of debanning the hard disk drive, and so I got it completely and utterly blank. And as you'll see in a moment or two, the optical drive, well, it doesn't have one. So it was a bit of a struggle to get something on there. Well, it wasn't a bit of a struggle, I just had to think about what I was going to put on there. And so this video is about what I'm going to put on this laptop. Yay! So as you may have seen, it lacks a built-in floppy and optical drive, but what it lacks in storage media, it doesn't half make up for in other things. So without further ado, let's have a quick run over some of its features. There is a fairly nice trackpad. And these buttons, I think, act like the scroll wheel, so you can scroll up and down by clicking them rather than, you know, holding the mouse and dragging or whatever. There's some programmable keys at the top there for shortcuts. What else has it got on it? Oh, infrared. Yeah, infrared on the port there with on the front with audio out and audio out. I think they're both audio out. They look like audio out to me. What do you think, guys? Audio out? On the side there is a Acer specific dock there, and I'll show you what that's for in a minute. There's an Firewire 1394 socket. This is the awkwardly placed power slider switch thing. There's a PCMCIA card slot there. I've just turned this freaking thing on there. I don't know. There's two of these whatever's. I've just turned it on. I'll turn it off. There we go. On the back there is power, VGA, onboard Ethernet, onboard modem. I think this is a docking station connector. There's two USB. I think I'm going to assume that they're 1.0 ports, and there's a PS2 keyboard mouse combination port. I guess you can get splitters for them, or you can plug one or the other in, and it's intelligent enough to detect. There's a Kensington lock socket, and this is the hard disk bay. It's missing one of its feet on this corner here, and it's missing a foot on this corner here, so it's a bit wobbly. And what I might do is take this rubber foot off and stick it on the bottom, so the rubber feet are at the back at least. Then it's going to be level. There's a manufacturing date there of 02/03/01, which is March 2001, but it's probably Americanized, so that'll be February 2001, or is it backwards and it's actually 2002 March 01, 1st of March 2002? Well, because it's got Windows XP came out in like October 2001, and this comes with Windows XP Home Edition out of the box, and it's got a design for Windows XP, Windows 2000 sticker there, and it's a Pentium III. I'm going to bet that is this is a 2000 and what did I say it was? A 2002 March machine, and so it'll be a really early XP era Pentium III, so just before the Pentium 4s come out. I was being sarcastic about the trackpad earlier, by the way. So it's a bit scuffed and dusty. I haven't cleaned it or anything yet. I just wanted to have a look at it. It came with a Belkin Wireless G PCMCIA wireless card. I've got a suspicion that it might have wireless built in, but I doubt it. This is the supplied floppy and DVD reader combi drive. It's in a proper Acer one. It's branded as a Easy Link. Part of the connector is broken off simply because the way you have to twist it into this little side thing there to lock it away for storage. The drive is a TIAC drive, and it's broken, so it doesn't actually read discs. So it was debanned with a floppy disk, so I've got to get Windows installed off of a floppy disk. No, that will become apparent shortly. I've got to get Windows or something installed on it to be able to make use of this laptop. So let me go up to my main PC now, and I will show you what I'm going to install on this beauty. Okay, so we're on my main Vista PC. Yep, you heard that right, Vista PC. It's a Pentium 4 machine with 4 gig. It's got a faulty AGP graphics card, don't ask. So anyway, this is where all my old files are installed to, etc. And on here is this. Now, a bit of backstory. In around 2004-05, I set up with a few other guys a website called osbtarchive.com. And on there it was basically a forum for people to collaborate and share all their beta versions of Windows and other operating systems that they had collected. And this guy Clint had created a Windows Server 2003 for people to quickly create an FTP server so they too can host their collections fairly easily, and also use it as a game hosting. He's put here Half-Life 2, Far Cry and Call of Duty. So this is a very small footprint. Most of it is ripped out. You can't use it as a day-to-day server operating system, but you can use a few bits and bobs on there. So I thought, I used to use this on old Pentium III PCs to test them out, the hardware and whatnot, and I thought it's a very quick installer, so I thought I could go and stick it on this laptop. So I've used Rufus to convert the ISO to a USB thumb drive, and if any of you guys want the ISO, you've got to find this file here, and it is that big there, and that's how big it is zipped. So it's 64, 659 and 73, 734 uncompressed. I can't send you these files, please don't ask me for them. Right, with the USB install media for the Appliance Edition on this lovely Microsoft Surface branded USB key, which I got from a conference I went to, I need to be able to boot this USB pen drive. But as you can see from the boot menu, you've got floppy disk, hard disk and CD-ROM. It doesn't detect this as a bootable device because it is simply too old. And if you remember from earlier in the video, I said I had a floppy disk. This has got plop boot floppy loader thingy-bob on there, and you can see that the DVD drive there is just blinking away. It does sweet FA. It will close, but I think the ribbon cable for the drive, it gets caught underneath as you close it in, which makes it stiff to insert, and I think it's like folded in half underneath and damaged it. It's like all crimped and creased under there and damaged. I don't know if you can see it just folding under there like that. I don't think that's supposed to happen, and it's all creased and frayed. So unless I can get a new drive, that's going to just not do anything. So with plop in there, and I have to go around the back and put the USB device in the back there, and then I can select to boot from floppy disk, and this will do the good old plop, and then I can go down to USB. I realise my arm is covering up the camera. USB, boom, press any key to boot from USB, and I'll press the space bar. Now the USB is going to be seen by this installer as the C drive, and it's going to see the DVD drive. Although it's connected and not working, it is connected and visible to the machine, so that gets detected as the D drive, and thus the hard disk drive that's internal will be detected and appear as the E drive. Now I'm going to talk all the way through this install process, because until it gets to the license key, it's really rather quick, and you'll be extremely surprised at how quick it will install. So I want to, this has worked this time round. Because I've installed, right, let me just wind back a second. When this was deband and it was completely unpartitioned, it came up as free space down here, but I've already installed this appliance as a test to see if it actually installs, and that has then became the C drive. So I'm just installing this over the top there. I'm going to delete everything, and then we've got the unpartitioned space. I'll stick it. It's funny, this is a 16 gig USB drive that Microsoft gave me, and the internal hard drive is a mechanical drive. It's only 30 gig, or it's 28 unformatted. And I'm going to just do a quick NTFS format. Going to put a quick picture up on Twitter whilst the install is running. It is very quick. Even on this old 1 GHz Pentium III, it's got 256 megabytes of RAM, and yeah, you're going to see a behind the scenes. You're going to break the fourth wall. There we go. Boom. Yes, I'm using iMovie on the iPhone 5 to record and edit and upload these videos, so I have to try and edit them down to be less than 15 minutes, else they won't upload, and I'm already about 12 minutes in now, but luckily this only takes about 3 minutes. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you just hang on there a moment, you'll see how rapid this is. So if you can imagine, you've got a Pentium 4 machine, you don't know what to do with it. It's got half a gig of RAM. You're thinking, well, I wouldn't mind setting up maybe a Counter-Strike 1.5 server for a LAN gaming retro session coming up soon in the UK somewhere, maybe somewhere soon, I don't know. Maybe this might do the trick. Lol, we're at 99. Oh, no, sorry, I can't read it. That's 9900 now. So yeah, so this is not quite a legitimate version of Windows. Whilst it doesn't come with a license key, it does remove all the Windows protection stuff. So you've got to use a real key. So I'm going to stop the video whilst I put the key in, because it's one of my keys, obviously, and then we'll have a quick look at what you actually get included on this system. But literally, what this video is running 6 minutes, and that includes me talking about the faulty drive, talking about the plot bootloader, the USB drive, and plugging it in. This particular clip before editing down is 7 minutes 10 seconds so far, but we're already at mouse. As you can see, it's homemade. Basically what they've done, they've stripped out absolutely every service that's unnecessary for running basic stuff. You can't run any Microsoft Office, you can't run any, if at all, antivirus as far as my understanding is. It's got none of the MSI installers. You have to put drivers on for basic stuff other than keyboard and mouse. As you'll see, this has got a very generic, I think, Ethernet card, onboard Ethernet, but there's no driver for it. So I'm going to have to go to the Acer website and see if they've got the old Windows XP driver for it. And I think I might even struggle these days to get something like a web browser to run on it. But if I'm just going to put something like WinSCP for an SC, or FileZilla, maybe an older FileZilla server on there, this is ideal. So we're on to 8 minutes 40, and it's just doing the basic driver. I like the little Clint Eastwood logo you've got there in the top corner. It's very, very, very cleverly done. I wouldn't even know where to start, but my understanding is what they've done, they've just used the old, what's it called, we used to edit Windows XP with now, and then basically turned everything off, and then they've put loads of hacked registry tweaks in there to turn things even more things off, and then if they've been turned off, they can just use post-install commands to delete the files from the operating system. So it takes up very little space on the C drive when it's finished installing, and because there's no services running, and because there's no startup applications or background processors, it's using like 40 megabytes of memory, I think, but by the time Windows is actually up and running. But when this finishes, it's going to ask me for the serial key, so I'm going to stop this clip and put the license key in and log it in. See you on the desktop. Right, and so after a couple of reboots, whilst it does all its WPA kill and whatnot, you are automatically logged in to the desktop as the administrator with this README file on the desktop. And if you open it up with Notepad, and I don't want to associate NVO files with Notepad, but I'm going to just tick that and then say OK. it'll tell you that the username and password are both administrator and administrator. It stumped me for the first time because I let the computer lock, and I forgot the password was set to administrator with the capital A, so I had to go and open up the ISO and look at the read me through that. Anyway, so that's that really. It's let's have a look at the. It's got a command here, sort of thing on the right click. We can look at the properties of the computer, and you see there's another Clint Eastwood picture, ripped and tweaked by Clint. More info. Yep, just for fun. Yay. It's based on Web Edition, I think. Yeah, because of that being a giveaway. And all the updates to a certain point are installed, slipstreamed in. But obviously this is from 2005 or 6, so it's missing Service Pack 2 and all the updates. And I don't think I want to go and update this either. The device manager is totally and utterly bombarded with yellow bangs because everything is missing. So the Ethernet controller, the onboard audio, the video drivers, and a bunch of other stuff. And I need to eject my USB drive. There we go. That's that done. I can unplug that now. And yeah, so I need to go and get the drivers now, but that's pretty much wraps the video up in a sense that there's nothing to show you. It's totally empty apart from like command prompt and notepad, and some hacks for turning off DEP and WFP, and you can change auto log on. I'm going to do that. There you go. Boom. So I don't have to remember that password. There's nothing on here. It's totally empty, and that's as it should be for an appliance. You know, there's not even any administrative tools. The date and time is wrong. I need to. I think the CMOS battery is dead on this. Oh, there you go. Here we go. I can't even change the time through Windows because w32time.dll has been removed from this installation. So that means I have to update the time through the BIOS, and I can't do the time through Windows, which means I can't do the time through the internet, etc. So, you know, it's really dead basic. If I remember rightly, I struggled to get network drivers installed on even some basic, you know, 3Com network cards because of so much stuff has been removed. And unless you get the really pure drivers and you can just install the pure driver files, a lot of them are like exe installs that you need to unpack on another machine. That's it, yeah. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like this video and share it with all your friends. Follow me on Twitter at LBXComputers and join Retro Machines on Facebook. It's a group for retro computer enthusiasts like you and me. Goodbye.